Good evening. Good evening. It's UPB from OptionMillionaires.com. Option Millionaires. Options, the place to be these days. Today's wild moves are an example of that. You could buy a stock that moves 2%, or you could buy an option on that stock and turn that 2% gain into a 300% gain, depending on what stock it is and how volatile it is, how highly priced the options are. There's a lot of factors to go into it. The bottom line is a little can turn into a lot. And we had that today. Apple calls were alerted early this morning in our chat room, and they were a nice double. Also, yesterday we had a text alert. Netflix 7250 calls at 34 cents. They hit a high of $1.30, I believe. Let me go check real quick because I didn't check after the close. The high of the day was $1.30. So money to be made in this market. That alert was courtesy of Option Millionaires. We have the futures. This is the S&P 500 futures chart here in front of you. This was today's trading action. We had weakness throughout the session until about lunchtime, when it got a little boost, and then around 2:30, which is roughly an hour and a half before the market were to close, supposedly a rumor came out. It doesn't matter. Market's ramped. It was spastic, wild, dancing in the streets as we closed, a little off the highs of the day. This resembling the stick save that we saw yesterday, but a more dramatic type move. The stick save yesterday was a nice last minute buying spree. Stocks were looking weak, and they came back very, very strong. At the end of the day yesterday, this is the stick save yesterday, right here. And the ramp higher was a more dramatic 10-minute run, closing off the high of the day. This was a more deliberate. It took a little longer, but nonetheless, look at that. Buying. After all the selling we've seen the last couple weeks, buying like this, it happens. I like to think it's the natural market conditions that are getting people to just storm into stocks via futures. You can see the futures volume here when we spiked yesterday, which is indicative of what I would like to call, many people call the PPT, plunge protection team. Really, it was a lot of people coming in the futures market, a lot of contracts being bought right at the lows, right when the market looked like it was going to fall even further, which undoubtedly it did. That bounce was, yes, all for naught. Whoever spent all that money. But today, look at that. We're right about back to the peak there. So this one, although it took longer, had the same desired effect. Better yet, to help maybe keep this rally going, we have Hewlett Packard after the bell. Yes, I know that ticker doesn't exist. How about this one? HPQ. Oh, look at that. I'm positioned for the $22 calls. So these should be pretty nice. Look at it. We're at 22.45. A nice bounce after hours. And I was saying, I actually had an update last night that I was going to post in it. You just have to take me for my word. Maybe I'll post it today. I did say I was positioning the HPQ calls. I posted it also in the forum and the chat room as well. There's places you could look. I know there's other people who followed me into that trade and are going to be sitting on some nice profits. A couple trades I did make today. How about Intel? This is a quick 20-minute trade. Look at this dip. This is a Dow component. Dow components are supposed to be stable. These are the creme de la creme. Look at the plunge we had at the open below $25. I got into the $25 calls at a price of 27 cents, right about here. And I got out, right about here for, I believe it was 50 cents. It ended up going to 54 cents, right up here, right at the top. So that's a double. Look at that. 20 minutes. 20-minute double. Call it a day right there. And the reason I got in, although it was weak, we had Dell week, we had Hewlett Packard week. So Intel was down 5% just about. And I knew the stock would bounce. The Dow component. JP Morgan even bounced initially the Friday after the $2 billion loss was announced. So I didn't see Intel come out with a $2 billion loss. So whatever the news was that took it down this far, obviously was not so bad. And look where we closed. Just about back to the gap down. But either way, I don't care about the rest of the day. All I cared about was the opportunity. You saw it down 5%, Dow component. I hopped in. I posted my trades. 27 cents. I think the low was 26 cents. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty lucky. Let's go to Apple in the chat room today. Jimmy Bob was talking about Apple right about here. Right about here. Was it 553 and change? He says it's going to it's not 570 today. And look, who would have thought, right? Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. This has after hours action in there. This is a little more direct here. He was talking about 533. I'm sorry, 553. My numbers are all messed up. Need a little more sleep tonight. That's why I'm doing the update now instead of the middle of the night. And look at that. At 553, he said it's going to 570. And he could not have been any more right. Look at that. Move to a high of almost 573. Oh, man. And so the calls bought out of the money at this location were worth at least a double at this location. Just a fabulous move. I was also playing X, US Steel, one of my favorites. I'm batting 3 for 4 on these the last couple weeks, which would be US Steel calls. I usually sell them the same day. Let's go in here. Look, US Steel hit a low about an hour in. The $21 calls were going for 38 cents. I got in here, and US Steel rebounded, even in spite of the dollar strength, and closed right at the height of the day. Those calls went for 38 cents. They closed with a bid of $1.12. If you bought 10 of them for $380, they would be worth on paper now $1,120. That's a nice gain. And I had 2 trades like that today. I'm sure a lot of people who were buying the dip had the same type of trade. I'm in USO still. I got some $34 calls right at the low, just about. I got lucky again. Call me lucky. I might have got them in here. I don't recall exactly when. I'll have to look back. I got them in the mid-30s. They closed, I believe, 40 by 42. Not a spectacular gain, but nonetheless. So yeah, it was a wild day today. Just a wild day. And we can attribute that to the oversold conditions in the market that I kept talking about the last couple weeks. You go back, I don't know if I have my studies set up correctly here, and I don't want to fiddle around too much, but I was thinking back last week that we could possibly droop down to this level, and who knows, that might ultimately happen. But the rally we had on Monday kind of had me sold that we indeed had seen a bottom for now, and today's action kind of reinforced that for me, but we'll see. You can see I have these little trend lines across. Like I say, I never delete them. There might be little choppy lines, sometimes I don't extend them all the way. Sometimes they're just for a day or two trend line. I'll look at the market. So I think that's it for now. I'm gonna probably have a video later and go over my outlook for tomorrow. I'll give you a hint. I have a couple calls. Yes, yeah. And that's it. And I got HPQ calls. It's a great day tomorrow. That was the icing on the cherry. The cherry, the icing, the cherry, the cherry on the sundae today. Oh man. Okay, I really got to go now. Once again, thanks for listening. This is UPB from OptionMillionaires.com. You join us in the chat room if you'd like. A lot of good traders there. We come on audio every day, just about. Sometimes you get 2 or 3 different traders on there in audio, and a lot of seasoned traders in the room as well. A lot of patting on the behinds. So if you're not into that, maybe you'll find a different chat room. All right. Take care. UPB, OptionMillionaires.com. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.